Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. We're turning up the heat for a look inside a converted barn turned hot shop. At the Bubble Factory in Essex, owner James McLeod and his team are merging the ancient art of glassblowing with a modern-day aesthetic.
Glassblowing is one of the most ancient art forms, dating back to the Romans. The journey that it's made to where it is today is pretty fascinating and has pulled a lot of different techniques and tools from around the world. But what's interesting to me is that many of those techniques are the same as they were in that original era. A lot of the tools that we use and the techniques we use have not changed at all. And they're all passed down through an apprenticeship.
What strikes me about the studio is how many people there are working together in harmony. What goes on here at the Bubble Factory?
So the core of the Bubble Factory is a production glassblowing studio. We have 2 workstations, so there's at least 4 people working together in like a 1,000 square foot space every day. And it's this choreographed dance where everybody's working around each other. And everybody's also, lack of better terms, running around the studio with hot molten glass. We have an educational facility as well where we teach classes, introductory level courses on the weekends. And then we have a creative art space where we work with clients to realize their ideas out of glass.
The process of glass blowing, how does it work?
The basic principle of it is that you are taking a metal rod and collecting a ball of molten glass and then turning it into whatever you want. You start with sand. It's a type of silicates sand, soda ash, and lime are the main components. That goes into a furnace, which fires about 2,000 degrees. It melts overnight, and then we start gathering glass out of it and form our pieces. With every piece that we make, there's so much that goes into it before it even gets fabricated. So there's a massive design process behind it, drawing, drafting, prototyping until it actually becomes the piece that you see in one of our stores. And we also workshop it, pass it off to friends, take it home, and actually use the glasses in our own lives to see if they fit the profile of what we're looking for.
Beyond the size and texture of each piece of glass art, one feature that really stands out is the color.
The colors are fascinating because there really is a chemistry to it, the way that the color is melted with the type of metals that go into it. We put a lot of work into picking the selection of colors that we have so they go together as a beautiful set.
How did you get into this?
I went to the California College of Arts and Crafts, and I was an illustration major, and I took one glassblowing class, and I realized it was way more fun than sitting at a table and drawing by myself. There's teamwork involved with it. You get to light things on fire. It's like a sport. It just rolled from there. I looked at it and said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
And how does that passion then become Cloud Glassworks?
My background is in production, glassblowing, and art making. We had an opportunity to open a business and make our own production line of work. I took everything that I knew from all the studios that I'd worked at and all the places and artists that I'd worked for and sort of distilled them into something that was sort of very pure and streamlined to make our product what it is. We're in a very unique industry because our skills and techniques are all passed down from generation to generation. The contemporary studio glass movement is only about 50 years old. I'm about 2 generations away from people that learned from all the Italian masters. What's really nice about it is that we share all our information, what we call a gaffer, which is the head glassblower in our studio. We all bring the information that we have in our skill sets and collectively work on pieces and learn from each other too, and then pass it down to the assistants that then move their way out over the years.
And some of your students now actually work here. How does it feel to have them enjoy this so much that they want to make it their career?
It's very fulfilling. Most of the people that work here at one point were my student fresh out of high school. Most of them have also gone off and worked other places, and now they've come back. They were the star students over the course of years. And they all make their own work too, so it's really great to see them being successful in that right as well. But then being able to come and work in a studio where they're doing what they've trained to do and what they love.
What is the joy involved with making every single piece by hand?
It's a really exciting medium to work with. We don't use a lot of the high production techniques that other studios do, so that takes the focus and the creativity of the artist to actually make it. For me, what's important about that is taking these long-standing traditions of work and passing them down to generations, and in addition, creating something for somebody that can't be made by a machine. Everybody that works here is very passionate about what they do. We love gathering glass. We love making things out of glass. And we want to share that with the people who end up with the product in the end. It's the story behind the pieces that they have that's also really important. And connected to that also is that we also have the opportunity for people then to come have the experience themselves and own the work at the same time.
At the Bubble Factory, they're not only blowing glass, they're showing others how to do it too. Enter Nikki Samis, hot shop instructor and my teacher for the day. Now today we're making one of these paperweights. How does this come out of this right here?
So a couple steps. We use a variety of different tools such as the jacks and the tweezers to make different marks on the material. And we also use a lot of glass color. So right in these bowls, we just have a clear glass that is colored with metal oxides to create color variations within the glass. And then we crush it up into this really fine glass that is called frit. And then we apply that onto our clear glass, and we can have whatever color we want and do whatever marks we want to make on the glass with our tools here.
You're going to show me how it's done, and I'm really excited for this. What's the first step?
We gather glass out of our furnace, and then we come to our color. We apply as many colors as we decide we're using for the piece. We heat the color into the clear glass so that it becomes one kind of blob of glass. And then we use our tweezers to create the interior design of the paperweight. We gather glass over top of that interior design. We use blocks to shape that exterior part of the paperweight, and then we use jacks to create a jack line or a small constriction point within the piece, and then we break it off of our rod and we just torch it, and then it'll go into our annealer.
And with the tweezers, with the different colors, you can really make each piece so different.
Yeah, it's definitely just all up to the maker what they want to add into their paperweight.
And it's hard to believe that this ends up like this when the process is done.
Yeah, it's definitely mesmerizing, a really fun process to watch.
We love blowing glass and we love creating new designs. So anytime that I can make something new and get it out there to the public and have people enjoy it is a good day. Coming up after the break, we're hopping on board for a behind-the-scenes look at Providence's famous water fire when New England Living returns after this.